Muay Thai, you know, it's my love. Yeah, my religion. A lot of people want to be fighters. Not many people need to be fighters. If you really want it, I mean really, if you really want it, you're gonna find the fucking time. You're gonna find the time. Hard work, a lot of sacrifice, getting up on the days that you don't want to get up, you know, or training the days that you don't want to train. When you're seen to work hard and really dedicate yourself, it doesn't go unnoticed. People will notice it.
Just introduce yourself, tell me your name, who you are and kind of what you do.
Cool. So I'm Panicos Yousef. I'm the owner of All Powers Gym. I've fought for over 20 years, got a few titles under me, fought on one championship quite pre-COVID, and still going.
You grew up in Cyprus. For people who haven't been there or didn't have a childhood there, can you describe what it's like to live in Cyprus?
Cyprus is an amazing childhood. You know, it was an amazing time for me. My dad used to be a jockey, and so when he retired, he wanted to have one of the ex horses or whatever. And but we lived in the town, so there was no place really for him to ride. So we ended up moving into a village quite far south, into a village just out of Paphos. If anybody who's watching knows where that is. It was in the middle of nowhere, but there was only about maybe 5 or 6 families, and then just a couple of really old farmer couples and stuff like that. But it was best childhood, because all the children there, we all went out and played hide and seek in this whole village that was, you know, just for us. And that we went picnics. Summer holidays were amazing, you know, climbing trees. So because we kind of like lived on it was kind of like a semi-farm. So we had a horse, which was what my dad wanted. And then we eventually got a donkey. We had a couple of goats and pigs and chickens and hens. So it was nice. We had loads of chores growing up as kids, but we still went to school in town. So we had to go and stay in a boarding school during the week. We were like, dad was like worked for a car wash. Mom worked as a cleaner and stuff. So it was very tough. So it was a necessity for us to go and stay in a boarding school. It wasn't because that was that was their choice. It was how it was, unfortunately. So yeah, it was like to say, I don't like to say we were poor. You know, like I said to you before, there were times at Christmas when we didn't have presents. There were times, you know, when we were having like corned beef and chips and stuff, you know, as kids. But it didn't matter. My parents always made sure there was food on the table, and that's all that mattered, you know. And they always took care of us. We always had clothes, even if it was passed me down clothes. We always had shoes. You know, I can't complain. Dad made me go to work at the age of 8 with him, car washing. So and I mean working like a 12-hour shift. I'm not talking about like just come and mess about and then go home. I'm talking working. I was there vacuuming and stuff. Like every summer holiday, I was working full-time job. Every bank holiday, every Easter, I was working. Like, if there's one thing that my parents taught me, was work ethic. So, you know, like back in Cyprus, it was quite easy, because even when I wasn't working with my dad would send me off and say, right, you're going working with your uncle. And I was like 12 years old, my uncle would turn off the cement mixer, make me mix it by hand. I'm a 12-year-old skinny little kid. Then I'm filling up buckets and walking up to the third floor of a construction site, bringing half buckets of cement, and then getting smacked on the back of the head for bringing him half half filled buckets. But the but it was only because my dad could trust him. He knew my uncle, or it was a close friend. So it was, you know, you knew we were being taken care of. We weren't with strangers. One summer, I think I was 16. One summer, summer holiday, I was with a friend, and I said, let's go sign up to the gym and do some weights. And in the studio part of the weights, there was a guy playing some really loud, whiny music, and I was like, "What's that?" Anyway, then I saw him kicking the bag and stuff, and so he finished, and then I approached him and I said, "Oh, what is it that you do?" I thought it was kickboxing. I'd never heard of Thai boxing at that point. And he says, "Oh yeah, it's Thai boxing, blah blah blah. We do these classes on these nights." It's a guy called Panicos Yousef. He runs a gym called Lumpini Gym in Cyprus. 2 weeks I dropped tennis, basketball, volleyball, football. I was just all in. I loved it. I was like, and then yeah, within I think 2 months they were like, we were talking about fights and stuff like that, because I was in there every day. Yeah, and that was it. It was just like never turn back. I was 16. It was only a couple of months, 2-3 months in.
Wow.
Yeah. I was safe to say I got battered. So I was supposed to jump in with a guy who was training for about 3 or 4 months, and then on the day of the weigh-in, the guy was ill or something. So they said, "Oh, we've got this guy," and I was like, "Okay." Anyway, he came from like a boxing background or something like that. So for every one punch, he gave me like 6-7 back. So I was like, second round, I was done. I've known failure, you know, like I get battered, going out with my mates playing football, getting battered, and then coming home for dinner. Do you know what I mean? It's normal. It's nothing, you know. It's so, you know, yeah, it was nothing for me. Yeah, it was lost. Yeah, I was upset. I was really upset. I was devastated. And I had like 2 or 3 days where I was feeling sorry for myself. And then I was like even more determined when I got back in. I was like, no way, I'm getting back in and I'm going to smash the next one. In championship, I've had more injuries in the 1 year, in the 4 fights that I've had in my whole career. I've broken hand, fractured eye socket, sore ribs. Man, it's bad. With them, those MMA gloves, man, they cause damage. Even the jab like causes you know, like that white flash, you know, that you get. But yeah, it's that's what the people want. Yeah, I went into that fight. I knew who he was and I knew his background. So when I fight, especially against guys like Muay Thai, I have to forget. I have to like wipe out what their record is and what they've done and who they are, and I have to fight them just as like a fresh opponent, because then I can relax and I can let myself do my thing. But yeah, I thought. Took a bit of a bullshit 8 count in the first round, and then I hoped that I caught him I knew that I had need to get an 8 count back, and I caught him with an uppercut and he went down, and he didn't take an 8 count, which I thought was unfair. But anyway, I broke my hand on his head in the second round through a hook. I think he ducked, and it was bad. I never broke my hand before, so I never broke a bone in my body at the time. So it was a bit of an unusual feeling. It just felt like lead. And I remember throwing a jab, third round maybe, threw a jab, and my hand went just like that, like it would just slid down. I was like, oh shit. And yeah, it was really painful. But I just felt like I was kind of on almost a survival mode from then on. Take away my Thai boxing career, what I've done all this time, take away the gym, like I still feel like I haven't reached my full potential. There's things I still want to do. You know, there's goals in my head. There's things that I'm trying to reach out and do and stuff like that. You know, that I've got working in the background and stuff. It's I just, me as a person. I know, you know, maybe the Thai boxing career is coming towards an end, but there is more. I know there's more. You know, for me, you know, it's not. I'm still hungry. Like, I still got that drive in my head. Always be grateful of the people who screwed you over in one way or another, because if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have that kick up the ass you needed to do something about it. Really, the people that actually made you make a change in your life and, you know, prompted you to do something, and are the ones who screwed you over or treated you badly. Because if it wasn't for that person, I'd be comfortable in my discomfort. Like I said to you, like, I'm 37 now, I'm be 38 in a few months, and I still don't feel like I've reached my full potential. I still feel like I have a shitload of things to do.